You get annoyed with people in your life or get frustrated, get triggered, and it affects your relationships, then today's video is for you, because this video I'm going to talk about this really important piece that I've discovered on my path, and it's all about coming to know thyself. And when we come to know ourselves, this is one of the tools that can help us in our relationships and can help us in having better relationships with everybody that we may encounter in our lives, including ourselves. If you are on a path of spirituality, you have probably come across the idea of know thyself and how important it is to progress towards coming to know oneself more deeply. And there's so much here to talk about. This is a deep conversation. I'd like to share some thoughts on one piece of this and how when we come to know ourselves more deeply, what this does for us in our lives. So there's many ways that this applies in our lives, and I'd love to go deeper into it in many different directions. But one aspect of coming to know oneself that is really important is when you know who you are and when you know who you are not. When you have greater clarity within yourself of who you are, you become more aware of you and also where you stop yourself and the ways that you get in your own way. And this is something that if you find yourself getting triggered by other people or getting annoyed, getting frustrated, there's an expression that we learn through everybody around us. Everybody is a mirror and they're mirroring back to us. And when we are getting triggered, that there's something within us that needs to heal. And this expression is used a lot, but I think sometimes it can be misunderstood, or maybe just it doesn't go deep. It's more of a surface level understanding. And when we bring this expression of people are our mirrors, and when they reflect back to us where we need healing, when we bring that together with this idea of knowing oneself, when we recognize that I'm getting triggered here and we see that this is something about us, that's our own piece, that this is something that triggers me and I have that awareness. What this does of knowing myself in this way is it allows me to recognize that this is me. This isn't about the other person. And this is such a huge gift, because when I recognize that this is my own stuff, then I can avoid making it about the other person. And whatever frustration, animosity might come up that can get in the way of our relationships with other people, when we make it about them, I can recognize this is me. And this person may be doing something that I am aware of, that this is something that can trigger me or get under my skin, but that's about that trigger and not that person. And so I can recognize that they're doing this behavior, or taking that action, or doing whatever it is that's pushing my buttons. And it's about that action, not the person. When I can recognize that, it allows me to shift into such a more forgiving, compassionate place to be able to engage in that relationship from this place of understanding and compassion for the person, rather than getting my buttons pushed and reacting from that place. I'm less reactive when I can recognize, oh, these are my triggers, and this is a behavior that can trigger that. And maybe this person has a pattern of that, and that's good to know when I want to be in relationships with people, how they might push your buttons, but then it's our choice. And also, when we get triggered, it's a way of recognizing that there's something here that needs healing. And that's on me. That's on me to do that piece of healing that, so that I can let go of that and that I'm not triggered anymore. And that's up to us on our own healing path. Ideally, we'd be trigger free. That would be nothing that could push my buttons, and it all is just other people's behavior and stuff, but I'm not gonna allow that to change how I feel or my emotional state. I'm not gonna go into a negative emotional state because of anything that anybody else does. Imagine how much more at peace we could be, or empowered in the world, when no matter what other people do, it's not going to throw you off balance, and you're able to engage from a balanced place with people in your lives. And when we do that, when we are able to engage from that more balanced place, the result of those interactions are usually much, much better. We're able to engage from a place where we can get to make progress in a way that is going to lead to good for all involved, hopefully. and not come at it from more of an emotional place where often we may regret what we say, or we're coming at it from a defensive place and we're not able to really see the higher picture and do what's the greater good in a situation. So this is just a piece of knowing ourselves, is knowing what pushes our buttons, what gets under our skin, and recognizing in our relationships with people that it's not about them and not making it personal, but that it's about us and how we can recognize this is something that triggers me and make it about recognizing, oh, this behavior rather than the people in my lives. And when we do that, this is just one small piece of how knowing ourselves in this way, it just opens up so much more greater understanding and compassion, the ability to connect with people and to be in relationships with people in a way that is really going to be more more enjoyable when we aren't getting annoyed or triggered by the people in our lives. This is something, if you want to learn more about the path of coming to know oneself more deeply, I haven't found anything that takes me further on this path than the work that I've done with the Mystery School. And now I have the honor of being a guide within this lineage and sharing tools and teachings that can support others on the path of knowing yourself more deeply. And this is more than just information. It is working with energy through the path of initiation to anchor in more light, more awareness, and tools to be more in the driver's seat in your life. And this has been what has really accelerated my journey of coming to know myself more deeply, is working with these ancient lineage tools that are all about this path of know thyself. And when we come to know ourselves, we move more onto that foundation of who we truly are and let go of the things that get in the way so we can live more in alignment with who I am, what my purpose is, what brings me joy in life, and create that in my life and then hopefully share that with others. And so this is something that we have many tools to work with. So if you're curious, I'd love to hear from you and share more about this with you.